Hi there. My name is Felix, and I'm thrilled to be here. Uh, well, in front of the camera, but talking to you. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak here in front of you. And yeah, I admit it is probably as surprising for you as for me, being a German speaking in front of an audience consisting of students in India. Similarly surprising is probably the matter of my talk, launching a website for women in India, although I never set foot in India before starting womennow.in. Obviously, this talk is not just limited to Women Now, but I mean, it's, yeah, the main angle actually. So, although it is strange now, this is the reason why we're here. And this is also the reason why you young Indian students are listening to this talk from a German guy very far away. So why actually is that? It is about several things that I want to talk now, right? It's first of all about curiosity. It's about opportunities. It's about network and what you do with the resources you have or what you can do. And also, and that is important to me, it's also about fun. So these are basically the points I structured my talk in. And basically starting with the topic opportunity. So before starting Women Now, I knew very little about India. I knew that it has massively old and rich history and culture. I knew that it's the country of colors and that there are many people in India. That's basically, from what I knew. I also knew actually, which I learned in a science museum in Linz, which is a city in Austria, that India has so much potential and brain power, it could easily overtake the US in terms of science, etc. So there was a comparison between all the young smart students coming out of like colleges and schools in India compared to the US, and the US was a tiny fraction. So this is also when I understood India is not just a country that's far away. India is a massive power, and there's a massive opportunity also, right? So a bit later, I met this super nice Indian girl at an event, and we became friends. And actually, she told me more about India. I was curious. She told me more about India and also the contradictions that India is facing, which I wasn't really aware of. So, that was 2011 or so. And then in 2012 happened this Delhi gang rape, which obviously drew attention to India from the whole world. And I didn't understand how a country with such a great history and culture could also be home to such a cruelty on a regular basis. Having said that, obviously we know that in many other countries on the world, Germany included, also horrible things happen, right, every day. So anyways, coming back to India, still, this like rape topic on a regular base struck me. So then we were talking about, the situation of women in India. And, my friend told me that this is also partly based on the education. And many people in India, especially like women, are deprived of that. So while I was curious to learn more about India, I also want to do something useful, to somehow help. And I also thought actually that there's a massive opportunity thinking at all those hundreds of millions of Indian women out there, So I figured I want to learn something about India. There's a need, you can help, and there's a massive opportunity of a massive market. So, I figured what might be relevant for a woman in India might also be relevant for a woman elsewhere, and vice versa. So that's when we started womennow.in as a mix of a typical female website such as Vogue or sofeminine.co.uk, but also with that empowerment and female rights angle, basically that United Nations touch, right? Coming back to what I said initially, curiosity and opportunities, right? Curiosity is to learn more about India, opportunity to combine a massive market with missing media outlet. Because I saw there's for sure an opportunity in the Indian media landscape. And then, like what I said also earlier, the topic fun. When I, start working on a project, it's not just about the opportunity, it's also about fun. I want to work with nice and motivated people. So, this brings me actually to another venture that I created in the US when I was living in New York. Similar to now IN and my prior lack of knowledge about India, I also had a lack of knowledge about opera. Still, when I met some young, very talented opera singers in New York that were desperate to get opportunities to sing in front of people and desperate to make money, I started a series called Opera Dinners. So, what is Opera Dinners actually? Opera Dinners basically is an event series where you meet up for a nice dinner in great locations, and these young, motivated opera singers come to present, their skills, and afterwards there's a party. So what was the use of it is like these young opera singers get the opportunity to sing and expose their skill set, and the audience actually is eager to listen to great music and maybe help them. So basically what that is again is a combination of curiosity, learning about opera, of opportunity, bring young opera singers together with a fun crowd in great locations. So until Corona obviously made an end to physical events, because opera is usually a physical event. So what we did then is, we started to host online opera events. And the nice thing here is instantly it became a global event because you do not have to travel to Berlin or New York to attend an opera. You can be based in Bombay or Rome and just dial in as a spectator, but also as a singer. Obviously, a strong internet connection helps, right? But obviously, you have the opportunities, but then there's also something else that you need. So, the other part I mentioned earlier was network. So, the opportunity I mentioned earlier was opera dinner, but there was another opportunity I saw besides that, and that's online wine tastings. So I created this company called myonlinetasting.com. And what we do there is basically we work with the best sommelier of the world, and we do online wine tastings, mostly for tech companies and their clients, but also for consulting companies or B2C events, like McKinsey, BCG, etc. So first of all, what's the best sommelier of the world? Or how did this happen, basically? Okay, Corona happened. I talked to a friend who has a friend who's the best sommelier of the world. Means this guy won the world championship of sommelier. So for all of you who do not know what a sommelier is, the sommelier is the guy that is an expert not just on wine but on any drinks, etc. And luxury hotels usually employ these people, so they give their clients recommendations on which wine goes best with lamb or with duck or with beef, etc., right? And I have another friend who has a vineyard, but obviously he's suffering from Corona since restaurants and bars are closed. So I figured, why not create a win-win situation, another opportunity, actually not just for me, but the three of us. Win for the vineyard, as he will sell wine. Win for the tech companies, because they can, entertain their clients. Obviously now with Corona, you cannot travel and meet your clients. And then also obviously win for the sommelier because he gets money, and win for me because I'm organizing it, right? And this is this part of network, and you see soon why I'm mentioning that. So I basically created this opportunity out of my own network. I saw that I knew these guys, and they create this win-win situation. So the approach is very simple, and there are two ways to do it. First of all, you look in your network, you combine the skills or capacities you see, and you create something out of that. But obviously the idea is there, you want to create something, and then basically, you check out your network. So then there's also a second approach if you do not have the required network. So then it's basically, the other way around. You know what is required, and then you start looking in your network to see whether it is available. And, when it's not available, when the resource you need or the skill set that you need is not in your network, so you can reach out to your network and ask the people whether they know one, that knows one, or that's able to do, right? So, again, these two approaches. The one thing is you take what you have and you do something out of that. Or the other thing is you have an idea and then you see what do you need to get there, right? Another venture I did is actually a tequila company. So for my tequila business, for instance, I asked friends that had the relevant background knowledge. One friend who was CMO of Lidl, the second largest supermarket chain world after Walmart, is now responsible for marketing. Another friend launched, a guacamole business in Germany, so he knows how to do business with Mexicans. Combining the knowledge of everyone in Germany knows tequila with the market situation, there is no good tequila in Germany, but there's very good tequila in Mexico. I figured, okay, I have to create, there's a massive opportunity in Germany. So let me do this business, but then I just need the people out of my network, to work on this project with, right? So important here is pick the people that know their stuff and do not think you need to do everything yourself. You do not. A good example is our tequila bottle. So I wanted to use a bottle that was already on the market, looking okay, nothing fancy. My marketing colleague was very opposed to the idea and wanted his own design, which took much longer and was much more expensive, as doing your own bottle means spending a lot of money, right? However, the result is that everyone loves the new bottle because it's very specific, right? It's not just like a bottle you take out of the shelf, which I would have done, and this would have been a mistake. So anyways, now, everyone's seeing the bottle. It works super well. People are buying this tequila also because of the look. So again, what I'm saying here is you don't have to do everything yourself. Pick people that know their stuff. And again, if you don't have anyone in your network, ask your network if they know people that know their stuff, right? It is, always better. Actually, I have a good example for that. A good example for that is my connection to Tata Motors. Obviously, you all know Tata Motors. So I spoke to someone about Women Now, and what he did is actually connect me with the CEO of Tata Motors. I mean, what an unexpected and helpful connection, right? So I went to Mumbai to see him, and we spent 2 hours talking about the project of Women Now and figuring out what to do. Because actually, Tata Motors, they needed help in the sense that they want to increase their female workforce from like currently 3% to 20%, right? So, that is something where Women Now can contribute. If I would not have talked to random people about my project, I would have never gotten this introduction, right? So that's, a good example for that. So, connecting dots and thinking outside the box and being outspoken is massively important to grow your ideas. Initially, I mentioned another aspect, which are resources. Obviously, one needs resources to start a business, but often the resource you need is thinking and analyzing, right? There are so many opportunities that are around us, but we do not see them. Open your eyes. What we need for a business is a product or a service and a market for it. Sometimes there's a market for it, but not a product. So this is where your creativity comes into play. Analyze what's around you and maybe something comes out. Another example is, when organizing opera dinners, I need great locations. So there was a question of setting up my own infrastructure by buying or renting something, but this is obviously very cost intensive. And then there's the possibility of using existing places of other people, right? Benefits here are that you have less fixed cost, and it's nice for people to change venues. If you have the same event always in the same location, might get boring. And like it's a project to support young artists. I always try to get locations, for free or little money, right? And sometimes even people are open to negotiate or give things away for free. So what I'm saying there is you need to ask, when you need something, feel free to ask. This is just an example, and I hope you got what I wanted to say here is go through life eyes open. There's many opportunities that lie around you, but also, with Corona now, they just pop up. Be open, think outside the box and try to connect the dots, right? And, trust me, it will not work for many times, but it will also work for sometimes, and this might lead to something interesting. And like another aspect, and this is actually for me to finish this talk, and that's very crucial for me. you can have failures and you can be successful, but for me, it's always important also to have fun. Obviously, setting up a business is not just always, to have fun or to enjoy yourself. It's also to survive. It's to pay your rent. It's to pay for food, etc., etc. But I believe still, you're much more successful when you also enjoy what you're doing, right? In my ideal world, a successful startup or a successful venture generates revenues and is self-sufficient, but it does something more. Women Now is self-sufficient. It is sustainable business, but it also, at least it tries, to make a difference for some women, right? So we try to help survivors of acid attacks, right? We supported, for example, a victim of an acid attack that went to New York, and we helped her with, finding a network, finding an apartment, like stuff like that, right? So, but at the base, it also is obviously financially self-sufficient. Same with opera dinners. It is a financially sustainable business model, and on top, we help young opera singers to get exposure, and so that people help them. They get jobs in operas, etc. So again, what I want to say here is be open, walk through life, eyes open, see the opportunities, and use them. Be curious, but also have fun. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak to you guys. I wish you a great day, and good luck with all your ventures, and take care.